Many of you watching have money all over the place, allocated to traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, post-tax or non-qualified brokerage accounts, trust accounts, bank accounts, money markets. The list goes on. What happens when the type of investment that you choose is the wrong type for that tax status? Can you create inefficiencies? What if you buy an annuity and put it in the wrong type of account? That's exactly what happened to Pat and Linda, and we'll break down their case next. We're back. It's Rise in Retirement. My name is Jet. That is Taco. And we are talking about Pat and Linda, who are actually doing really good.
Yeah.
We're going to let the cat right out of the bag and tell you this is a green light scenario. They have plenty of money. Their withdrawal need is in a great spot. Their withdrawal rate is really low. They could do nothing and they're going to be just fine. But as you know, that's not how we think.
Yeah.
Even the best cases, even the best financial situations, we can uncover certain inefficiencies that could have been avoided, could still be fixed in some occasions. And with Pat and Linda, there are a couple of specific things that they could potentially still do, and some that the ship has sailed on that they need to go back in time to be able to do. But we want to educate you on those today.
Yeah.
And why don't you break down their case detail for us?
So we have Pat 72. He's approaching required minimum distribution age. So that RMD is going to be kicking in. Linda's age 70. They have $880,000 in an IRA, and they have $200,000 that they used from their bank accounts, just post-tax money, to buy an annuity.
Okay.
That annuity has since been annuitized, meaning there is no value. Jet, at the end of the day, there's no cash value to that annuity. It's strictly an income producer now. So I'll talk about that.
So this annuity is paying out.
It's paying out.
Gotcha.
It's paying out income. It was post-tax money that was put in, and it's been annuitized. So ultimately, they have $880,000 in the IRA that is actual cash value at the end of the day.
Invested out there.
They have a annual spending need of about $84,000 a year, approximately $7,000 a month. That is, gross. That handles everything they want to do at the end of the day. All of their fun expenses, everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're collecting about $4,400 a month in Social Security combined. They're collecting $1,200 a month from that annuity that was annuitized.
Yep.
Okay. It's kind of like a pension at this point now. They have a income need still remaining then of about $1,400 a month that they need to take from that $880,000. So pretty small. I think it's 1.9% withdrawal rate at this point. So green light situation. They're awesome, in awesome shape. I mentioned the required minimum distribution. Okay. Not a huge deal here, but you'll see the inefficiencies that we're talking about is they have an RMD of about $33,000 that they're going to have to start taking now from the IRA.
Yeah, it's more than double what not quite double what they actually
need. So meaning exactly. So, a lot of times we talk about planning challenges. What I want to talk about now, Jed, is what are the inefficiencies that were created in their situation?
Yeah, before we do that, head over to Rise in Retirement at the end of the show today. If you are worried about some inefficiencies in your plan, if you're looking for a second opinion on your financial situation, we have a lot that we can help you with. On riseinretirement.com, a lot of free guides and resources that you can get at no cost. You can request a 30-minute phone consultation with an advisor on our team to talk about your situation. That is complimentary as well. But if you're looking at things like a cost and risk analysis, a year-by-year income analysis, if you want to know how your RMD is going to come into play and the best way to treat that and plan for that, go to riseinretirement.com and give us a shout. Planning inefficiencies. So the first one that we have listed here is what we're referring to as just unnecessary tax or taxation.
Right.
Let's talk about the annuity first.
Yeah.
So explain to our viewers, when you put post-tax dollars, like bank account money in their case, into an annuity, and then you annuitize it and you start collecting an income stream, ballpark, high level, how's that work from a taxation standpoint?
Yeah. So the again, I mentioned 200,000 is what they used. So this is like an immediate annuity. So they're starting to collect on this, right away. So there's really a small growth factor built into the annuitization. For today's example, let's say it's 2%, right? So there's an exclusion ratio is what it's called ultimately. I don't want to nerd out on you here, but ultimately what's happening there is part of that $1,200 a month that's coming in is considered growth, if you will, and that is taxed as ordinary income. The rest of it, and usually a bigger chunk, it's probably 90% of that $1,200 a month is coming in tax-free because it was from post-tax money. 10% of that $1,200 potentially could be coming in as ordinary income. Depending on how they took it, single life, joint life, there's different ways you can...
How long they've had it, what they originally deposited, et cetera.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, they drained their savings because they were sold this annuity as part of income planning.
Yep.
So the inefficiency that we see now is that we have a required minimum distribution. Let's strip the annuity out.
Okay.
Let's say they didn't have that $1,200 a month coming in. Now they would have a $2,600 per month shortfall.
Yep.
Follow me here, right? They need $1,400 with the annuity. Let's strip that annuity out. Say they never bought it. They would need $2,600 a month coming from their investments.
They, instead of having 880,000, they would now have 1,080,000.
Wouldn't change the RMD amount because the RMD is based on that IRA.
Yep.
Their need would almost be identical
to what they have to take out.
To what they have to take from the RMD. So the inefficiency here is that they put the wrong type of money in the annuity if that's what they chose that they wanted is guaranteed income. They set up a situation where you can't turn that off now. Once you annuitize, that's happening. That's done. And now all of a sudden you have to take out, $1,400 of the RMD is covered, but the rest of it's just unnecessary money that you're paying taxes on now. And, I'm sure they can find a way to spend it, but it's more about inefficient taxes.
I don't want to fault the use of an annuity in this case. Because for anyone, if having some sort of guarantee or some sort of stability on the income that you're generating from the portfolio, this $1,200 a month that they're getting from this annuity, not faulting the decision to look at an annuity. Totally agree. Would have made a lot more sense to just put IRA money in there versus draining what emergency cash they had left in their bank account to buy it.
Right.
Whoever sold it to them should have known that.
Yep.
It's quite possible that when they bought it, the IRA money wasn't available.
Yeah, but here's the unfortunate thing we see a lot is, a Pat and Linda could go talk to an advisor who clearly is more, selling a product type of thing. And it's, hey, we're sitting on money in the bank. It's not making anything. Oh, great. We could, you could write us a check. We can get you into something that can produce income, make a little bit more interest, than what you're getting. And there wasn't a collaboration. There wasn't a comprehensive approach to their planning. They were just simply sold a product.
Well, yeah, and you take it a step further, like you started to go down this road, knowing that required minimum distribution was out there on the horizon. Not only could they have satisfied the RMD through an annuity inside of an IRA that was paying an income stream, that wouldn't be the case if the annuity they purchased in the IRA was annuitized.
Correct.
Right. So they should have also potentially looked at a deferred income annuity or a deferred annuity versus an immediate annuity.
Exactly.
Where they could have added an income rider or something that doesn't annuitize and still creates an income stream. And take it one step further. Now this RMD that they have to take is providing them more income than what they need for their lifestyle. So I forget what the number was, but it's a little more than half of that RMD is they just don't need it.
Yeah. So they're paying tax.
They're paying tax on money that they have to withdraw that they don't have any use for.
Yep.
So now they're in that situation that we've talked many times on this show before about, what do I do with this extra money?
Yeah. The other inefficiency then that they have is, we already said they lost all their flexibility to post-tax money. They used pretty much every bit of money market checking savings that they have to fund this. So now any of the one-off things that they may need are going to, outside of the extra RMD, they're going to have to pay additional taxes on that as well, for emergencies or one-off things, because they lost that flexibility of having post-tax money. And so kind of water under the bridge. Well, this happened. And again, these are the types of situations that if you're looking at buying an annuity or you already have one, you don't fully understand it, get a second opinion on that thing, because one decision like that can be irrevocable, where you can't change it.
Well, if they're in an immediate annuity that's been annuitized, they're stuck.
Right.
They can't take the money back out. It's a done deal.
Yep.
Let's jump to some strategies.
Yeah. So there's two that I'll cover first as far as what can still be done to just maybe help make things a little more efficient. One, we talked about this on our show here a lot, is qualified charitable distributions.
Yeah.
If they are charitable and they give any sort of money to charities at this point, they could look to take that surplus
from the RMD.
So the money that they have to take that is in excess to what they actually need for living expenses, go straight to a charitable event there, and kind of just redirect those dollars. You can take them straight from your IRA to the charity, no taxes on your end, no taxes to the charity, and you're satisfying the IRS. They're happy with the fact that your RMD was satisfied. So that would be number one. The other one, Jet, of what still can be done is we've identified there's still some room within, even the 12% bracket, if they didn't want to, get too high into the 22% bracket, to do some partial Roth conversion. So take that RMD and then maybe even take some additional, convert it over to a Roth. And that could start to lower the required minimum distribution over the next several years, while getting some money into tax-free status for them. May or may not be, the right answer for them, but it's something to look at to maybe build out a more efficient strategy as well.
And I'll add one more that goes along, and we didn't have this one down actually, but it came to mind as you were talking, and it's rudimentary. This is super simple, and I don't probably have to tell you this, but if they've got to take money out via RMD and they only need to spend half of that to live off of, what do you do with the rest? Well, they bled their non-qualified money down dry to buy the annuity. So now they have a chance to rebuild it.
Yeah, bank it.
So you either bank it or you reinvest it in a brokerage account, or you do a combination of the both. But that will help them over time build back up some emergency flexibility.
Yep.
And then there's one strategy that's more of like hey, this isn't something they can do now, but in hindsight, if they would have thought about this a little bit more.
This is what you should be thinking about.
If you're finding yourself in a scenario, don't buy the non-qualified annuity.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Not the annuity itself, the type of money they chose to put in it.
Yeah. And then to annuitize it.
The second part of that is, and I'm not 100% down on annuitizing necessarily, but there's a term that I've heard in the industry that is sort of a joke, but it's when you annuitize, it's like committing a nuicide.
Yeah.
And what that means is not negatively, it's just you can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't go back. It's an irrevocable decision. You annuitize, that's it. The money is gone. You have the paycheck that's a result of the annuitization calculation, and that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. For example, if the RMD was only half of what it actually is, if they had less IRA balance,
they'd be fine.
Then this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
If they use some post-tax money along with the IRA, then that would have been good planning. But somebody should be able to look ahead and kind of project, hey, this is roughly what your required minimum distribution is going to be. Why don't we take a chunk of that money and put that into the annuity to generate your income shortfall and satisfy the IRS all in one?
And again, like what I was trying to say earlier, it's wholly possible that when they sat down with the advisor that sold them the annuity, that the only available money they had at that time to invest was the bank account money. Imagine all that IRA money was 401k money, and when they sat down with the advisor, they were still working, and they couldn't get the money out of the 401k. Well, the advisor doesn't have to convince them to take all their bank money and buy this, but he did, or she did. And so, it's just not a good situation for them to be in. They can't go back and change it. So learn from that. Don't do something like that. Get a second opinion if you're looking at someone giving you advice like that.
So green light all the way. If they do nothing, they're fine. If you're looking for a second opinion to find maybe some of the inefficiencies that lie ahead or are already in your plan, go to Rise in Retirement. There's tons of resources. Book a 30-minute call with our team. We can give you that second opinion. Make sure that you're not making any sort of mistakes like Pat and Linda did here. So we will see you guys next time here on Rise in Retirement.